So warm welcome to you all, friends. Thank you so much for taking out your time from your busy schedule. So friends, today's topic is radiant relationships. In fact, I usually call it repattern relationships because to have a radiant relationship, first, what is more important is to understand. First, it is important to understand our relationships. As Shalini said, that we are the reflection of our relationships, and so our relationship is a reflection of ourselves. It's like a mirror. It just mirrors our whole relationship. Only mirrors the content of our consciousness. Exactly whatever we are, whatever is our state of consciousness, is reflected in our relationships. A lot of times, we all have been doing meditation. We all have been doing spiritual courses, workshops. But the true test of our spirituality is actually eventually reflected in our relationships. A lot of times, in my personal experience, I've seen that I get up from my meditation, I feel so happy, joyful, in a very peaceful state. But the moment I meet the people around me, or meet maybe my spouse or my children or my mother-in-law, or when I go to office, or the moment I meet the people around me, they push the same emotional buttons, and you are back to your past. You think, and this the same cycle continues day by day, and eventually we see that our relationship is not changing. And again, next day morning we meditate, we think we are fine now, we are so peaceful, and next day again, and again when we are faced with the same environment, and we go back to our past. So that's why our relationship is so important, and in true sense, our relationship actually reflects. If you think we are spiritual, or if we think we are growing spiritually, our relationship is the true test of our spirituality, because how you conduct a relationship with people around you, people who has more power over others, people uh, whom on whom we have more power over them, like our servants, or in office if we are the boss, or so how we relate with them, how we reflect with them, depends. It all reflects our relationship, and that reflects our true essence, our true spirituality. So first, it is important to understand our relationship, how the relationship dynamics works. So I'll start by sharing a concept by the name of 7 unseen mirrors of relationship. It's a very old concept. It's nothing new. I'm just reiterating what I have learned by these 7 unseen mirrors. So are these 7 unseen mirrors reflect it totally reflects all our relationships. I've been divided into these 7 different categories, and it reflects basically more upon on ourselves, what we are at the moment, right? Or what we are, and how we are corresponding our relationship with others. So friends, these Essenes, why it is called Essene mirrors? Essenes are nothing but they are the evolved beings who constituted these 7 mirrors, which gives us the powerful insights. So these Essenes were, so Jesus was one of the Essene. So these Essenes existed between 150 BC until 70 AD. And these Essenes, they developed the means of defining human relationship, right? So in form of our actions, in form of our language, situations, the choices we make, and the people around us, all reflects all the reality which is reflected through us or by the people around us, can actually represents our relationships, right? So these mirrors talk about how in different life situations we all go through these mirrors some point or the other in our life, and whether we recognize it or not. And then oftentimes we go through many mirrors simultaneously. So from the perspective of these mirrors, I invite you all to allow for the possibility to understand a relationship from a much, much subtle, or in a much, much deeper perspective. We are in fact invited to know ourselves in the presence of others through our relationships. And the best thing is when these relationships are reconciled, then we become the benefit of that healing, right? So we and this entire universe, what we see around you, is nothing but this great theater of mirrors. So our relationship is just a mirror of what we are, right? And oftentimes life always most of the times life will always give you experience what is most helpful or beneficial for the evolution of our consciousness. So a lot of times we feel sometimes a failed relationship or a challenging relationship, but sometimes these relationships are the trigger mechanisms, which is actually pointing us like a compass, pointing us towards us what we need to heal. And once we understand this, the relationship, then the healing is born out of this awareness. So it is very important to understand the awareness of a relationship. Most of the time, we are so unconscious of a relationship that we don't even know that there's any challenge or there's any issue which we need to repair. And we repeat what we don't repair. Unless we repair our relationships, we'll keep repeating the same patterns over and over again. And those patterns in form of relationships will encounter again and again. But by encountering it again and again, it is actually giving us an opportunity to time and again to heal our relationship, right? So every mirror is actually every relationship is a mirror reflecting the contents of our consciousness. So let me start by the first Essene mirror. Arvind, Shalini, is my sound noise clear? Is my voice clear?
Yes, absolutely clear, sir.
Fine, right. Thank you. Anytime, Shalini, you want me to stop for a while, you have any questions which you want me to answer, or Arvind, just let me know and I can just interrupt me in that case. Yeah, please.
Sure, sir.
Thank you. So friends, the first Essene mirror reflects to us what we are in the moment, right? So it is something we ourselves are doing or we ourselves have been in error or wounded. So, this Essene mirror actually reflects of our emotional state of a present moment. So suppose I am in a state of, say, anger, or suppose I'm in a state of rage or joy, or whatever is my current emotional state, that will be reflected in my relationship. So if I'm in a state of happiness or ecstasy, so I'll encounter people in my current environment, in my situation, who will reflect those emotions to me. So this mirror reflects to me what I am in the moment. Whatever I am in the present moment, or whatever is my dominant pattern of behavior, or my dominant pattern of the emotion in my current situation, in my current consciousness, will be reflected in the same pattern will be reflected in my relationships outside. As the saying goes, as within, so without. As within, so outside, right? So so suppose I'm encountering people who are most of the time, if I'm encountering people who are angry, so that is a trigger for me, or that is a message for me to what is the anger in me which I need to heal. What is that part of that consciousness which is in form of anger, where the dominant emotional charge is of anger, which I need to heal, so that my relationship changes. And the beauty is, once we understand this pattern, once we understand what is relationship is reflecting only to us, and when we make the changes within us, when things change inside us, things change around us. And most of the time, what we are trying to do is to make a change outside without actually focusing on our relationship inside. Whereas the outside is only focusing on what is inside. So when you talk about relationships is actually about how we relate with ourselves, right? And once we make the change inside, the magic, we all know about law of attraction. You all have been hearing Chandra, and Chandra has spoken a lot about law of attraction. So when our feelings, when we change our feelings inside, we change the situation outside. Our feelings are equal to prayers, right? What we feel about, we bring about into our life, right? As we all know, our thoughts are electric and our feelings are magnetic. So once we when we change the feelings within us, our dominant feelings inside of us, then then magically, or with with synchronicities and serendipities will happen into our life, and automatically or very effortlessly will start changing the relationship outside of us, right? So basically, friends, whatever is our environment is nothing but the extension of our mind. And 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 the beauty is, whenever we are faced with challenging situations or our relationships, most of the time we give so much of attention to that, and we may give so much of attention to what we do not want in our life. So suppose I'm facing somebody, maybe a spouse or a friend or maybe a partner, or or maybe an enemy. Suppose he is reflecting anger towards me, and I give so much attention to that anger, and with my focus and with my attention, I draw more of that situation into my life, because energy is the currency of the universe. When you pay attention to something, actually you buy that experience, because wherever your energy goes, wherever your attention goes, your energy flows, right? Wherever thought goes, the energy flows. So when we give more attention to the pattern, even though we do not want that situation in our life, but because we're giving more and more attention to that situation, we will draw more of that situation into our life. Because we are discussing more. Oh, this person is like that, we are discussing, but by giving more attention, by discussing more about that person or that situation, you are actually keeping that pattern alive in your consciousness. You're making it more active in your consciousness, and by doing that, we are drawing actually more of that event into our life. So what we need is to be selective of our focus. With our attention feeds the energy, and as I told you, our energy is the currency of the universe. With our attention, we buy that experience into our life, right? So I'll give you an example of two wolves. Inside each of us, there was an old story which where an old man was saying to his grandchild, narrating a story, where he says that inside each of us lives two wolves. One wolf is a joyful, happy, very positive wolf. Another wolf is very negative, very angry, very resentful, uh, 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 full of, very ferocious, and full of rage, fear. So if there's a fight between the two wolves, which is the wolf which will win? Can you answer on the chat? If there's a fight between these two wolves, which is the wolf which will win? One is a positive wolf, one is a negative wolf. One is when it's full of love, joy. Okay, so somebody said the one is positive. The somebody said one is negative. Positive, negative. Yeah, Rajendra, you're right. So Rajendra said the one which we feed. Absolutely, friends. The wolf which we feed is the one which will win, right? And how do we feed? We feed by our attention. Through attention, we feed that. With the attention, we feed that wolf. So wherever we, so when we face with a relationship, or whatever relationship, whatever the emotional pattern of the relationship which we are feeding, is which that is the same pattern of the same situation which will draw into a life. And that relationship could be in, not just in form of people, it could be in form of people, situations, time, event, circumstances in our life, and that will bring us, and we will draw that situation into a life. And but all these are situations or relationships are only trying to reflect what we are in this moment, right? So this is the first mirror, which is what we are in the present moment. I'll cover all the 7 mirrors, and then we can have Q&A. We can take a break for Q&A, and then we can go to the next part of the workshop. So if you have any questions, any doubts, please write. I assume, I'm hopeful that by the end of these 7 mirrors, most of the doubts will be cleared. But however, please write it down. And if you are still unclear, then I'll be happy to answer. Yeah. So the second mirror, friends, the second Essene mirror is again one of my favorite mirror, which I feel that brought a big transformation in me. So this is a second Essene mirror, which is a very subtle mirror. This reflects to us what we judge in the moment. You know, it is something that we have an emotional charge with, something which we have either been wounded by in the past or have not forgiven. So what happens is, most of the time, in a close relationship, in a close relationship, we're encountered with people like maybe our spouse, maybe our children, maybe our parents. Because we live day in and day out with them, we start judging them, right? We start judging them. We uh, we start just a minute, Keshav. Yeah. So sorry. Yeah. So we start judging them, and most of the time, they are the people who actually frustrate you, who push your buttons, emotional buttons, maybe of anger, rage, and then you wonder that this is not my pattern, and why am I faced with this reality? Why am I encountering these emotions in my life? So, for example, I'll give you my own personal example. 2002, when I uh, from 1997 I got into meditation, and by 2002 I started even teaching meditation and conducting and organizing workshops on meditation. And I felt that I am very peaceful, I am very happy, very joyful. But then I realized that there's one pattern which I still encounter a lot of people who are still angry with me or upset with me, or or show signs of short temperedness or rage towards me. And I used to wonder that, why am I encountering these people? This is not me. If the law of attraction is what I feel is what I attract into my life, but I am not feeling any anger towards them or to anybody else, why am I encountering this situation in my life? And that is when I got to know about this second Essene of mirror, and that actually gave me my answer. That, when I go into spirituality, a lot of times when you become spiritual, we tend to become spiritually arrogant. We start judging people who are not demonstrating the right behavior or right emotions. And I started judging everybody around me, including my wife, including my parents, including my relatives, or my business partner, whoever would show any sign of anger or short temperedness. I had a strong judgment towards them. I used to feel that, I used to feel that these guys are stupid. These guys don't know spirituality. They need to meditate. How can they behave like this? How can they feel this? How can they feel angry for the smallest reason? So I had a very strong judgment towards those people. And 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 even though it was not my pattern, but I was encountering those situations again and again. And why I was encountering those situations? Because of my judgment, I was carrying a strong judgment, because a judgment carries a strong emotional charge. And even though I did not want that situation, I did not want to encounter the situation, but because of my strong emotional charge towards that situation, because of my strong resistance towards that situation, I was drawing more and more of that situation into my life, right? And more often and more so, it was happening within my close relationships. And I was wondering if they love me, but still, why are they behaving like this to me? And when I realized this pattern in me, when I realized that there was a strong judgment which I was carrying, and when I dropped my judgment towards this emotional charge, my relationship started changing. My relationship started healing. So with the judgment, the judge, by our judgment, we are actually observing. We are observing that situation with that emotion in other person. Suppose I was judging my wife, so I was not seeing my wife as the way she was. I was seeing my wife. I was seeing the memory of her of the last 10 years of my relationship with her. I was not seeing of my I was seeing the image of her of the last 10 years, whatever the last 10 years of my relationship with her. Accordingly, I had formed my judgment about her. So before even she would complete her sentence, I had already judged her. So this was my dominant pattern. And we all know the principles of quantum science. The observer affects what is being observed, right? So by our observation of that person, we are evoking that response from that person. We are evoking that character, that trait in that person. So because the observer affects what is being observed. So that is the principle of it is the principle of resonance, law of attraction, or by this in view of this second Asean mirror relationship. It just reflects. It is only reflecting the resonance of our emotional charge, which we are carrying in a consciousness in a form of a judgment. So by actually carrying that charge of judgment, we are evoking that response from that person. So we are actually participating in that event. Not only are we are on the other side of the road who has to go through that emotional charge of the other person, but by carrying that judgment, we are actually participating in that event, right? We are so you are by our judgment, we are actually evoking that response from that person for that emotion. So because what you resist, you persist. I was resisting anger, and by resisting, I was actually feeding that energy and drawing more that into my life, right? And suppose I was meeting my wife, and she would say, suppose she was short tempered. So even before the meeting, I had that expectancy. I know that if for any reason she will just lose her temper. So what happens is your expectancy determines your outcome. The subjective mind has an impact on the objective world. So so it is all on us. It is our choice to even change the relationship. How the other person behaves to us is also our choice, and we can change that situation. A man is according to the manner you look at him, right? A man is according to the manner you look at him. And Wayne Dyer said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Right? When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And when I started changing the way I was looking at my relationships around me, when I dropped that emotional charge, when I dropped the charge of the judgment, the situation around me changed, right? And it is there's a very simple tool. A lot of times we judge because because we feel they are separate from us. We feel that or sometimes it could be of a spiritual arrogance. But if when I realized that, if a lot of times, like I was judging my wife a lot, and but when I understood her properly, when I thought that, if her past was my past, if her pain was my pain, if her level of consciousness was my level of consciousness, I would think and act exactly as she did. And when I realized this, because she had her own traumatic past, she had her own traumatic childhood, and those emotions were coming from deep rooted from that side. And when I realized that that past of her, with that realization came forgiveness, actually came compassion, and peace for myself. I was able to drop all the judgments and accept and allow her to be the way she was. So friends, this is a very, very powerful mirror. Judgment has a very strong emotional charge, and that's why we need to learn how to drop judgment, because judgment carries resistance, and with the very act of judgment carries resistance. In an emotional psyche, in a vibrational frequency, The moment you judge, you're resistant of that person, right? And we are all vibrational beings, and because we are all vibrational beings, from the quantum perspective, whether you tell that person or not, the fact you are carrying that vibration resistance, you are evoking you're evoking that response from that person, right? Because we are all energy beings, right? So judgments create resistance, and all resistance is futile. What you fight, you strengthen. What you resist, persist. So the more you fight, the more you'll strengthen that emotion. So once you accept and allow the person to be the way they are, then you will no more and drop the judgment. Then you will no more draw that situation into your life. And that's why, the greater part, Eckhart Tolle says that the greater part of the human pain is unnecessary. It is self-created, as the unobserved mind runs your life. Because we are not aware of these patterns, it is we are unnecessarily creating resistance. We are unobserved of our own patterns, and that runs our life. The pain, whatever the pain we create now is always some form of non-acceptance or some form of unconscious resistance to what it is, what the current situation is, what the present moment is. Because we are resistance, whatever pain, if you go to the root cause of any pain, it is actually some form of non-acceptance or form of unconscious resistance to what the current situation is, right? Because the truth is, all situations, whatever the situation is around you in form of relationship or situation, all situations are fundamentally neutral, and we give them meaning: positive, negative, right, wrong, good, bad. And whatever meaning we give them, when we assign that meaning, we actually invite that experience into our life, right? So by assigning that meaning, we are actually inviting that experience into our life, because we are feeding that emotion, we are feeding that energy. And energy is the currency of the universe. By attention, we draw that experience into our life. By judgment, we draw that experience into our life. And friend, the truth is, what irritates us about others, a lot of times others irritate us, right? But actually, whatever irritates us about others only reflect that part of the ego or that part of the consciousness that is active in us. So if you are feeling irritated about somebody, so we have to reflect back, why am I feeling irritated? What is it that I need to heal within me? It is somewhere where we need to heal our ego or some part of the consciousness which is still active in you, which is vibrationally, which is very active in us. And that's why that emotions trigger irritation in us, right? You have to see, if you think just from the eyes of the source, or just from the source of how would Buddha behave in this situation, or how would Jesus behave in this situation, you will wonder, yes, this is not how would Buddha behave. Buddha would not get irritated. Jesus would not get irritated. So that means there's something. So that means they've resolved those emotions, but in our consciousness, there's something which we still need to heal, right? So this is all relationship to the means of relationship. It is only giving us the opportunity to actually heal our relationship with ourselves first. So friends, so that's why it is very important to drop the judgments. J.D. Krishnamurti said, to observe without evaluating is the highest form of human intelligence, right? So that's what we need to do, to drop all the judgments. When you come to each moment cleanly, without a previous thought about it, you can create who you are rather than recreate who you were. So when you meet people, relationships, people, as if sometimes it is good to meet as if you're meeting that person for the first time. If you're meeting that person for the first time, will you carry any judgments about their past? No. So look at afresh, because all people are subject to change, all people are subject to evolution, all people are subject to transformation. So when you come to each moment cleanly, without a previous thought about it, you can create who you are rather than recreate who you were, right? So actually, since when we are thinking the past again and again, we are recreating the same reality again and again. And that's why we have control. We have control over the behavior of others as it relates to us, because we are evoking behavior in them corresponding to our vibration. So the key is how to change our vibration. The universe only brings the universe only brings aspects of others. The universe only brings to us the aspects of others, which is what is active in us. What is active? It will only bring aspects of others to you. What is active in your vibration? So, friends, what is we can with this understanding, we can use the positive aspects of each other, the positive aspects of each other's behavior, and truly believe in it. Even with the children, even in the with the catch them doing right rather than doing wrong, right? So and truly believe in the positive aspects, and then we'll evoke more of that emotions from them, more of that response from them, right? And what happens, friends? Why do we trigger judgment? Because in our past we had some experience with some intense emotion. And what happens is, when we had some intense emotion about some past experience, with that intense emotion, it turns into a long-term memory. And now that long-term memory forms a strong judgment about that person. Because the moment we meet that person, that long-term memory triggers and that judgment comes up, right? But the moment we drop that emotional charge, we are able to release that emotion. We are able to release that the emotions which we have stored in our psychology. So that's why it's called memory without the emotional charge is called wisdom. And once we release that emotional charge, we liberate so much of energy, and we actually free ourselves. It is not about healing. It's not about just others. We are actually healing ourselves. So that's why it says that either you can judge or you can love. If you are judging, you can never be in the loving state. You're always in a state of resistance. Right, friends? So are we clear about the second Essene mirror? If you're clear, just write yes. So I know that we are all going ahead together. And then we go to the third mirror. Right. Thanks. Right, friends. So third mirror reflects back to us something we lost, gave away, or had taken away. So, friends, here, when we see something we love and desire in another, it is often something we have lost, given away, or had stolen in our lives. So, let me explain to this in more detail. So, friends, most of the time, you must have all experienced sometime or the other. We meet some person, and the moment we see this person, maybe, and it may be a very casual meeting, maybe very unplanned meeting. But the moment you see this person and you look into the eyes of this person, in that moment, you feel a strong thing, like an electric charge happening. You feel some magic. You feel some magic is happening. In that moment, that magic happens, and there's an electric charge which makes you feel attracted to that person, right? It is not necessarily a romantic relationship. It could be in form of, you feel like this person is like my sister, or maybe I have some connection with that person, and you feel like talking to that person. Or maybe it could be a father figure or a mother figure, or like your close friend. So you feel, somehow you feel attracted to that person, right? So what happens is, friends, why we feel attracted to that person, even though we are meeting for the first time, and we just don't know, we feel just attracted to that person. So what happens is, through the course of our life, we lose the essence in our crisis moments, in our innocence to survive life's offering. We actually lose the essence of, we lose our essence. Some part of the consciousness or some part of the soul gets fragmented. It is also called soul fragmentation. When if we are going through some strong crisis moment or challenging situation, or our soul gets fragmented, and when that happens, and when that happens, it is a deep urge of the soul to connect back to that consciousness, that part of the consciousness which is lost. Now, when we meet this person reflects that consciousness which is lost by us. So this person completes that consciousness. The dominant attribute of this person is something which I had lost. So that's why when we meet that person, this person is actually subconsciously is able to complete that part of a consciousness which we had lost, right? That part of the essence which we had lost, and that's why we feel attracted to that person. So that universe brings that person into our life, so that we are given that opportunity to learn from that person, that his dominant pattern of behavior which we are missing in our life, so that we complete each other, right? And most of the time, this pattern or this we lose our essence a lot of times, even including by our own parents, or by people, or taken away by people who have power over us, or we have given away our power to them, and that's how we have lost that essence of ourselves, and that's why. So this is the third mirror which explains this phenomena, right? Then we go to the fourth mirror. So the fourth Asean mirror reflects back to us our forgotten love. This could be, yeah, just share this. Yeah. So the fourth Asean mirror reflects back to us our forgotten love. This could be a way of life, a lost or unfinished relationship. So let me explain you again in more detail. So friends, this again is a very informative pattern of our behavior. So friends, here what happens is, a lot of people, you must have seen that uh, are going through some addiction, or we have all heard about OCDs, obsessive compulsive disorders, and we go through some compulsive addictive patterns, and it could be an addictive pattern which could be it could be addiction to making money, maybe addiction to sex or power, or alcohol, some substance abuse, maybe nicotine or any kind of substance abuse. So it could be smoking. So this mirror reflects us what is our addictive pattern. And what happens is, when we have this addictive pattern and we are addicted to when we have this OCD, slowly, little by little, we start losing the most dear things in our life, the most dearest relationships in our life, and that too, what we love, that we really love, those people or those relationships in our life, we start losing them, including our loved ones. It could be our job, or our very livelihood, just to accommodate these patterns, right? So suppose I realize this, that during where I was very much addicted to making money. When I got into meditation, so 2009, I realized that over a period of time, I was so addicted to making money, and and uh, uh, and because success is so much of addiction, right? Sometimes when you taste success, you want to make more and more money, you become more addicted to making money. And then I realized that over a period of time, I actually lost my connect with my I was losing my connect with my closest loved ones, whom I really love the most. If I have to vacate my body, and before my death, if somebody asks me, whom do you love the most, so these are my people, maybe my wife, my children, my parents, or my sisters, my brothers, but I was realizing that in my addiction to making money, I was getting disconnected by them. So little by little, I was losing the most dear things in my life, which really mattered to the most, because they realized that I was never in the present moment. Even if I'm with them, I'm always on my phone call, or I was traveling for work, or just busy with things, never in the present moment, never was with them 100%, never understood what emotions are they going through. even though I was physically there, but never mentally or emotionally there. So I was losing, because of my addiction to making money, I was losing my relationship with them. And when I realized this pattern, I could actually heal that relationship. I could actually, so because of my addiction of making money, I was losing that relationship with them. So friends, this is, and this, the beauty of this relationship is, you can heal this relationship, you can heal this pattern anytime. This pattern does not happen, the pattern does not happen overnight. It develops, this pattern unfolds gradually and little by little, and it can be recognized anytime, and it can be healed anytime. And once it is healed, you can find back that wholeness. And when you find that wholeness in you, you will find that reflection in the relationship around you. So, and it could be in many different situations. It could be an issue of control in a corporate or a family environment. Even that could be an addiction. Sometimes we were so addicted to control. If you are the head of the family, I'm addicted to, maybe as the head of the family, some people are addicted to control, keep the control of the whole family. It could be, if you're a head of a corporate, you are addicted to the controlling the whole corporate. So it could be many kind of relationships. It could be a control in a corporate or family environment, making money, sex, power, substance abuse, many different forms of addiction, right? So, and what happens is, whenever the more you live this addiction, the more it get hardwired. It hardwired into our brain. We develop the neurocircuitry, and it becomes so natural. It becomes a so spontaneous behavior that we don't even realize that we are addicted to that. When even the others tell us, we feel, no, I'm not like that. When people used to tell me, including my wife, used to tell me often, kids are missing you. You are there, but you're not there. But I said, no, I'm there. I'm always there. So this pattern, you do not even realize it. But the beauty is, it is very, the once you become conscious, you have to become the consciousness observing the program. You have to disassociate from the pattern and become a consciousness observing that program. And the more conscious you are of this unconscious pattern, the less unconscious you will go during the course of the day. So we really need to become conscious of this pattern, and the more conscious you are, this pattern will lose its intensity. Slowly it will lose its intensity. It will no more override you. It will no more overpower you. It will no more control you. Right? So that's why, friends, it is important to understand this mirror, and what we are not changing. Actually, if you are not changing it, we are actually choosing it. A repeated behavior is a decision. Any behavior which is repeated again and again is actually a decision. So if you're not, what we are not changing, we are actually choosing. So subconsciously we're choosing it. And the beauty is, once we become aware, unless we become aware, how do we even change it? So this fourth Essene mirror invites us to become aware of this obsessive compulsive disorder, or this kind of dominant pattern, or addictive pattern, which we need to heal. As Eckhart Tolle says, awareness is the greatest agent for change. So because once we become aware, now we are going to make choices as per a new state of being, right? Because our behavior always match our intention, right? If we have once we have an intention to change, once we bring it to our awareness, then we'll make choices as per that emotional state, right? Because you think always equal to your emotional state. So friends, this is again this event, this mirror can be, the beauty of this mirror is it can be healed anytime. We don't need to feel, oh my God, it's too late. The moment you realize it, you can start working on it, and you can heal this pattern. And we have to realize that the reason why we are losing this relationship, because they are as a mirror, they're trying to tell us that there's something that we need to change, right? Life events help us to actually heal and grow. It's always for us. It's not against us. It is happening for you and not to you. right? So this is again a great mirror to understand a relationship, and especially with our loved ones, with whom we have lost our relationship. So once we understand this pattern, we can heal that relationship. So let me go back. Let me go to the next mirror, friends. The fifth Asean mirror. I hope you're all clear, friends, about this fourth mirror. Just a moment. Yeah. Let's go to the fifth mirror. Okay. Yeah, friends. So, friends, this fifth Asean mirror reflects back to us our father or mother. Friends, it is often said that we marry our father or mother. We also often become them, acting out the same healthy and unhealthy patterns we learned as a child. So what does this mean? It's a very simple and easy to understand this mirror. We most of the time the way we live our life is depends on how we have been brought up in a childhood, through our father, through our mother, through our teachers, our preachers, through our friends, our trends, whatever is the upbringing, or a culture scape during that time, we develop certain behaviors, we develop certain belief systems into our life, right? And that behavior is actually reflected in a relationship outside, later in period of life. The way we live our life is based on that behaviors, or that belief system that we have formed in our life. So suppose if your father always said that, okay, only if you work hard you can achieve, you can gain something in a life, or says no pain no gain, or money does not grow on trees, uh, or money is evil. You can never earn money by right source. If you want to be rich, you always have to adopt to wrong means. So, a lot of times we develop these kind of like belief systems from our early childhood. And when we grow up in our life, even when we work, we grow up with that scarcity consciousness. We have a wrong belief system about money. And that's why we are never able to make wealth, or even if you're making wealth, we are never able to sustain wealth, because we have a wrong belief system about money. Or sometimes it could be a wrong belief system about our own self. Suppose our parents always said that, you are never good enough, you are good for nothing, you can never do anything right. So we develop that belief system about ourselves, that, oh, I'm never good enough. We develop that inferiority complex among ourselves. And now when we grow up, suppose we have a girlfriend, or we marry and we have a spouse. So that relationship, the same pattern will be reflected in a spouse or in a relationship outside. So that's why it's often said that we marry a father or a mother. So whatever relationship or whatever pattern we have not healed will again come back in a life in form of somebody else, or some close relationship, which actually gives us an opportunity for us to actually heal that relationship. And as I'll repeat, it is often said that we repeat what we don't repair. So unless we repair that pattern in us, that belief systems in us, that behaviors in us, that dominant thinking in us, we will encounter those relationships in our life. And once and these patterns are mainly coming from our parents or from our dominant culture set, because that time we don't even realize, because we are very unconscious. As a child, we were very unconscious. We were like a sponge. Whatever environment we were in, we just kept imbibing it as true. We did not judge it as right or wrong. We just imbibing it as that is the right thing. And then in the later stage of our life, it is reflected in our relationships. Right, friends? So this is the fifth Asean mirror. The sixth Asean mirror, friends. Again, this is a very, very powerful mirror, very, very, very subtle mirror. But this sixth Asean mirror this Asean mirror is also called the dark night of the soul, right? So it reflects back to us the quest for darkness, or what is often referred to us as the dark night of the soul. So this is when we meet our greatest challenges, our greatest fears, and have been gathering the tools and understanding in life to confront them. Okay, friends. So let me explain this in detail. And so friends, a lot of times in our life, in a later stage of our life, or a lot of times we face through some some horrific challenges, some extreme challenges in our life, right? Which really challenges us. So friends, and everybody, all everybody whom you we revere, it could be the greatest master, it could be a Mahavir or a Buddha or Jesus. All of them, even though they are very enlightened masters, but they face these challenges in their life. And we always wonder, if they are enlightened master, how can a Buddha, how can Jesus could face such a strong challenge? How can Jesus be crucified? Why did he, if law of attraction is correct, then why did Buddha attracted this situation into his life, right? So you always wonder why even in spite of their enlightenment or in spite of their highest evolution, why do they encounter this situation in their life? So friends, this mirror again gives that answer. So this mirror, the only way we actually face these challenges in our life, when we have amassed each tool that will allow us to move through those challenges with grace and ease. So, it's like, over a period of time, suppose we are into spirituality. So over a time, we have spiritually evolved. And now we think we know it all, right? But the true test of spirituality will only come when we encounter some challenging situation in life. And the reason we encounter this challenge, the very reason why I encountered this challenging situation in our life, because it is coming as a test. To take our test as if whether we have that enough strength or whether we actually can pass through this test. And so this is the test of our evolution, it's the test of our spirituality, it is actually the test of our wisdom. Suppose if I think that, oh, I am an excellent athlete, or I have a good stamina, but unless I go out in the garden or in the open space and jog, how do I know that I have a great stamina? So unless I'm faced with this challenging situation in a life, how do I know that I have that wisdom to go through these challenges? So the only reason why we encounter these challenges is actually to demonstrate these high levels of mastery. And unless we are able to gather these tools, unless these tools are amassed, we would never see ourselves in that situation, because that situation actually come to us to demonstrate these high levels of mastery, right? So it is a test for us whether we can move through those challenging situations with grace and ease, right? So I'll give you an example. In 1996, I met Patri sir. I got into meditation, I got into spirituality, and my life was amazing. After meditation, I came out of my depression. I healed my chest TB just with meditation within a month's time. And then what I was thinking, I was able to manifest in my life. So I was going through a challenging business situation, but then somehow with the help of meditation and creative visualization, I was able to manifest whatever I was wanting in my life. And from 96 to 99, from 97 to 99, actually, I was skyrocketing in my spiritual life, in my business life. I was in 2 years, my business completely changed. From nobody, I became the highest exporter in the country. So I was really on a high trajectory to growth, right? Now in 99, I realized I actually got caught up with my ambition to really become something, and to show the world that I am somebody. And if I was earning, say, 10 crores, then my craving for 100 crore. When I earned 100 crores, now I wanted to earn 1,000 crores. So I was just in the obsession of success or making wealth. I was too much involved with that. And in 99, during the end of the 99, I remember those were the 6 months in my life where I was just focusing. Other than my morning meditation, I was not no more focusing on spreading meditation. Otherwise, 97 to 99, did a lot of work, including spreading meditation. But those 6 months, I got so caught up into spirituality that into making wealth that I I actually lost. I actually stopped teaching meditation or spreading meditation, and I was only focusing on even my business dinners or my social relationships, all related to business people, right? And 1999, I remember by the end of 1999, I had a custom officers who came to my office. There was a big, huge custom case which was filed on me, and within 2 days, I was in a jail. I was in Bombay. I was in Atha Bandar Road jail, and I was in the jail for 14 days. And when I was in the jail for first day, I actually was very, very, very challenging for me. I thought, what will the world think about me? What will my family think about me? What will my whole business society will think about me? And I was very sleepless. I did not know. I mean, how do I? I was so much of anxiety, I was under so much of panic. The whole night I was sleepless. The next day, my sister came and gave me this book by Ramtha, the White Book. And before the jail, I was actually on and off. I was reading that book, and she gave me that book, I read the chapter within the Ramtha book. There was a chapter called a virtue of experience, and this virtue of experience was similar to the sixth Asean mirror, where they say that and I knew that I was not guilty. My conscience was clear that I had not done anything wrong. I had not done anything wrong. And then why did I encounter this situation in my life? Why did I, even though I was into spirituality, even though I was not guilty of this situation. Why did I encounter this situation in my life? And that was my question to myself. And when next day when I read this book, The Virtue of Experience, it was similar to the sixth Asin mirror, that there's a virtue in every experience. And most of the time we go through these experiences, which is a test of a spirituality to demonstrate whether we have that high levels of mastery or not. And I when I by the end of this, it was a 5 or 6 page chapter. By the end of that, when I read that chapter after an hour or so, I was in complete peace with myself. I got my clarity, I got my answer. In fact, when I was reflecting back, 6 months back, I had a vision that I wanted to teach meditation in jail. And I realized that here and I am. So maybe this is an opportunity for me to teach meditation in jail. And why am I cribbing? What is the anxiety for? I realized that all this anxiety which I was having since the last 24 hours was only the construct of was my own mental construct about my social conditioning. How would others think about me? Rather than thinking that what is my consciousness clear, then why am I worried about what others think about me? It was my investment of emotion into the others, right? When we talk about reputation, it is actually our emotional investment into others. How would others think about us, right? So it was and so when I understood, when I could see it clearly, I could drop that I could drop that 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 the wall, or that kind of construct. I could drop that construct into from my psychology, and when I dropped that construct, I was at peace with myself. When I understood, even the word jail was a construct. It has a social stigma attached to it. But the truth was, I was in a hall. It was a huge hall, maybe around 10,000 square feet hall. I was living in a house which is of maybe 1,400 square feet. And I thought this hall is actually bigger than 8 times bigger than my own house. So then why am I cribbing? The jail is again my mental construct that, but actually this hall is bigger than my own house, than my whole house. So where is it a jail? So once I realized that, I brought actually peace with myself. And I started enjoying my journey even in the jail. I made friends with so much of with some hardcore criminals. But when I actually started associating with them, when I started hearing their past, their journey, their childhood, I actually started sympathizing with them. I felt compassion for them. So 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 I met some pickpocketers, who were so innocent. There was some innocence behind their what they are doing right now. So and that made me learn to drop the judgment towards others, because when you know the past, when you know the story, they are actually deep down they are innocent. Deep down they are actually, they don't know what they're doing. They're very unconscious, or maybe they are young souls who don't know the law of universe, or baby souls, adults, or who don't know how the law of attraction works, and what they are meant to do. And so I dropped my judgment towards any kind of act. In fact, developed more compassion. So actually, during those 14 days helped me to actually grow and evolve. So friends, sometimes we draw these challenges in our life, which including those of relationships, where perhaps a very survival may be viewed, where these challenges are very survival, right? And these survival and these situations or relationships is actually a tremendous opportunity for us to demonstrate mastery rather than a test to pass or fail. It is actually a opportunity for us to demonstrate mastery of our spiritual wisdom or our spiritual growth. Because here in this situation, we are naked, right? From the very first day when I went to the jail, I was I was standing naked in my own eyes, where all my constructs about security, stability, and my family can, if anything happens, my family is there to support me, my friends are there to support me, my money is there to support me. Everything dropped. I was helpless. I couldn't do anything. So, so here you stand naked. Sometimes when we face with challenges, you have no choice but to strip. If these situations strip you naked of all the constructs of stability or security in your life, and once we drop that construct, then we are able to see ourselves without any filters. We do not see from the lens of our constructs, of our mental images which we have created, right? And whatever the belief systems that we believe that keeps us safe in our life is all dropped in the moment. In the fraction of within an hour, I was in a jail, and all my construct dropped. Nothing could help me, right? So friends, so friends, perhaps for the first time in my life, I was given an opportunity to actually prove or demonstrate to myself that the process of life actually can be trusted. To demonstrate that we have an ability, we have stability beyond our ability to realize it, right? So friends, so these life situations or life crisis situations are actually an opportunity for us to actually grow and evolve. As a lot of times, when a lot of times people come to Patri sir and they tell them about the life situations and challenging situations, and I remember sir telling them, what's life without a royal challenge, right? So this is actually true. What's life without a royal challenge? So don't shy away from challenges. Don't be scared of challenges. Don't resist challenges. It is only an opportunity for us to demonstrate uh, our mastery. Every great scientist or human being, or the masters of the world or Buddhas of the world, were first ridiculed before they were revered, right? So we are no exception. Okay, so let's go to the seventh Asean mirror, friends. So friends, this seventh Asean mirror reflects back to us our self-perception. How others perceive and treat us is actually according to how we perceive and treat ourselves, right? So the outside world is only a reflection about our self-image, which we have created for ourselves, right? So in the light of this mirror, we are given this opportunity to actually allow for the possibility to that whatever we all experience, whatever each of us experience of our life is actually regardless, whatever we experience, whatever experiences we have in our life, regardless of the outcome, is actually perfect, is actually perfect in its nature, right? Regardless we achieve or not that lofty goals which is set by others, is we don't need, we are actually, whatever we are in the current moment is actually perfect. So this, in view of this mirror, we are given this opportunity to actually view our life without any external reference. The only way to measure ourself or is to keep yourself as our own yardstick. Don't view yourself where others are a yardstick. How would society think about myself? How do I parents, most of the time we do things because my parents want me to do this. What do you want for yourself? And because if you are trying to be something what others want, even if you achieve what others want, you will not feel the contentment. You will not feel that inner joy, that inner happiness. Success without contentment is the ultimate failure. That's why I always ask, whatever you are pursuing in a life, whatever passion you're pursuing, whatever job you're pursuing, what, even if you want whatever, I always ask, what if, even if you achieve what you want, will that give you contentment? Is it aligned with your purpose? Is it only if it is aligned with your purpose will it give you contentment? We see a lot of film stars, lot of celebrities, still unhappy, feeling depressed. A lot of big business tycoons committing suicide. Because you do not realize what you want unless you get to where you want it to be. So only once you get where you want it to be, then you realize that this is not aligned with your purpose. You still feel empty, you still feel hollow, because only you're trying to pursue what has been imposed, or what has been the external, what has been imposed by you through from the lens of the external people, from the external lens of the external reference. The only way, friends, the only way we should measure our life is by our own yardstick. Whatever it is, it could be your profession, it could be your hobby, it could be your vocation, it could be your work, it could be your body shape, your body weight, it could be your academics, sports, or achievements. They all are perfect as they stand. So be ourselves as to be the reference and not others. Be your own thermometer, right? So there's one quote: your perception of me, is actually a reflection of you, not mine. And my reaction to you is an awareness of me. How I react to your perception of me is actually an awareness of me, right? So friends, we have to actually be our own yardstick. What always this mirror reflects to us, ki, am I living my life by actually what I want in my life, or what my parents wanted, or what my society want me to live by? So please reflect back, and sometimes maybe when I reflected until September 2019, I was I am 46 now. I decided by the age of 45, I will give up my making money cycle, my active work, and focus my time into spirituality, focus my time into teaching meditation, because my real passion was to teach, and that was my passion. And I decided that by the age of 40, so I had my vision. By the age of 40, if I made so much of wealth, I want to make so much of wealth, and now I am teaching. And trust me, by the age of 40, I made much more wealth than my vision was. Much more wealth. Maybe 10 times the wealth of which I had my vision. But in spite of making so much wealth, I did not pursue my passion of teaching. I was still caught up in that cycle. of making money. I was caught in that ambitious cycle where, oh, I was trading into commodities. So like I thought that I'm the commodity king, and I can trade any commodity and be a leader in that commodity, and drive the commodity in whichever direction I want to be. I was so addicted to, and I had developed so much of ego in me that. And what happened is from 2016 to 2019, I started losing money. Whatever I was doing, I was losing money. In spite of my creative visualizations or whatever, I was still losing money. In 2019, I realized that, I mean, I have whatever wealth. I lost a lot of wealth in 2019 September. In fact, that in September end, I was in Pyramid Valley, GFSS was going on. I realized that, and then it gave me the insight about this mirror that, I am trying to pursue in others' yardstick, trying to prove what I can do, and trying to see from the lens of others. In my whether I make more money or whether I lose money now, it is I have made enough wealth, and I am content with this wealth, and I can live my lifestyle the way I want to be for this whole life. But it is my addiction, and and it is my social conditioning which is pushing me to keep just in the addiction to that making money. And when I realized that this is because I'm trying to see myself from the external yardstick, how can at this age you can stop doing anything and pursue your passion of teaching. But the moment I realized that, in fact, I was in Pyramid Valley in one of the meditation, I got this insight, and I realized that from today onwards, I'm going to drop this addiction. Doesn't matter what society or the social people think about me, my family think about me, my business colleagues think about me. I am going to pursue what gives me highest joy, what is aligned with my passion, and that is that is teaching. And that is when I dropped active business and I started pursuing my passion. And now I give 80% of my time or 90% of my time for learning and for my own self growth, and then sharing whatever I'm learning or teaching whatever I'm learning. And actually I've realized that by teaching is the best form of learning, and pursuing what my passion is. So I've never been more peaceful, more joyful, more content than ever before, because I'm pursuing my passion. I'm much more satisfied, much more happier, much more content. My relationships around me have changed. It is much more fulfilling. I'm much more present in my relationship, and drawing much more synchronicities, serendipities in my life, and much more happy, right? Because eventually, whatever you do in your life is for an emotional payoff, and the emotional payoff in the teaching in the you if you want more money, eventually the emotional payoff, it will give you more happiness, maybe. Or if you want to buy a good house or a good car, it will give you maybe satisfaction or joy. But I realize that the highest amount of emotional payoff which I'm getting is by my own evolution, by own growth, or by and sharing my growth or sharing my learning with others or teaching. So that is giving me the highest emotional payoff. So why not invest my energy and my time in what is giving me the highest emotional payoff? So friends, this mirror actually reflects us to look within and look within ourselves, and what are you doing in your life? Is it for your own self, or is it to prove to the world? As there's a quote by Rumi, half of your life is lost in charming others. Half of your life is lost in charming others. Other half is lost in going through anxieties caused by others. So leave this play. You have played enough. So friends, let's focus on what our true passion is, what is true purpose of our life, and align our time, energy in the direction of your passion and purpose. Thank you, friends.